Hello, this is Slate with Combo of Rocks, bringing you two video deck techs. This is part one. There's going to be two videos. The customer requested Rowan and Will, Scion of War and Scion of Peace, that they be able to play against each other. So we're going to go over Rowan first. So let's get into this deck tech. Rowan, Scion of War is 1 black-red for a 4/2 legendary human wizard with menace. Tap it. Spells you cast this turn that are black and or red. It costs X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you've lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So Phyrexian Purge, 2 red-black sorcery, pay 3 life per target. Destroy any number of target creatures, allowing you to destroy as many creatures as you need and pay as much life. Rakdos' Return, X black-red sorcery, deals X damage to target opponent or planeswalker. That player then discards, that player or planeswalker controller discards X cards. Doom Whisperer, 3 black-black for a 6/6 creature, nightmare demon with flying and trample. You can pay 2 life and surveil 2. You can do this as long as you have 2 life to pay, allowing you to search through your deck and also lose a lot of life along the way. Profane Transfusion, 6 and 3 black, 2 target players exchange life totals. You create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the difference between those players' life totals. So you can drain yourself pretty low with lots of paying life and then switch your life total with somebody else's, allowing you to effectively make them low on life and you higher in life. Ob Nixilis Reignited, 3 black-black for 5 loyalty, legendary planeswalker Nixilis. +1, you draw a card and lose a life. -3, destroy a creature. -8, target opponent gets an emblem with whenever that player draws a card, they lose 2 life. March of Wretched Horror, Sorrow, X and a black instant. As additional cost to cast, you can exile any number of black cards from your hand. It costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. It deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life, which is great because we're paying lots of life, and we want to be able to gain that life back. Erebos' Intervention, X and a black, choose 1 instant. Creature gets -X until end of turn. You gain X life or exile up to twice X cards from graveyards. Eldritch Pack, 6 and a black sorcery. Target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of cards in their graveyard. So you can either use this on yourself or use it to finish off your opponent. Forsworn Paladin, 1 black for 1/1 human knight with menace. 1 and a black, tap, pay life, create a treasure token. 2 black, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. If mana from a treasure was spent to activate the ability, it also gains Death Touch. Spoils of the Vault, 1 black instant, choose a card name, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card with that name, then put that card into your hand, exile all of the cards revealed this way, and then you lose a life for each of the exiled cards. This can allow you to lose lots of life. Look for a certain card you need, and then hopefully be able to cast that card. Can be a double-sided sword, though. Treacherous Blessing, 2 and a black enchantment. When it enters, draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a spell, you lose a life. Whenever this becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Font of Agonies, 1 black enchantment. Whenever you pay life, you can put that many blood counters on it. Pay 1 black and remove 4 blood counters to destroy target creature. Dark Star Augur, 2 and a black for a 2/3 Bat Warlock with Offspring for a black, so you can pay an additional black as you cast it. If you do, you create a 1/1 that's a copy of this. With flying, at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equals to that card's mana value. Mortarion, Daemon Primarch, 5 and a black for a 5/6 legendary Demon Primarch with flying. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay X. If you do, create X to 2 black Astarte warrior creature tokens with menace. X can't be greater than the amount of life you lost this turn. Murderous Rider, 1 black for a 2/3 zombie knight with lifelink. When it dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. It does have an instant adventure swift end. 1 black, destroy target creature or planeswalker, you lose 2 life. Phyrexian Arena, 1 black for an enchantment. On your upkeep, draw a card and lose a life. Molten Steel Dragon, 4 Phyrexian red for a 4/4 artifact creature dragon. With flying, pay a Phyrexian red to give it +1/+0 until end of turn. Again, you can do that as much as you have 2 life to pay. Red Sun's Twilight, X red for a sorcery, destroy up to X target artifacts. If X is 5 or more, for each artifact destroyed this way, create a token that's a copy of it. Those tokens gain haste, exile them at the beginning of the next end step. Just a good way to destroy lots of artifacts and maybe gain control of them for a turn. Apex of Power, 7 and 3 red for sorcery. Exile the top 7 cards of your library until the end of your turn. You may cast non-land cards exiled this way. If this spell was cast from your hand, add 10 mana of any one color. Great when this card only costs 3 red. Phyrexian Processor, 4 mana artifact. When it enters, pay any amount of life. 4 in a tap, create an XX black Phyrexian minion creature token where X is the life paid as this entered the battlefield. In some mana rocks, we have Coalition Relic, Rakdos Signet, Talisman of Indulgence. This one does deal damage to you. Rakdos Locket can be sacked to draw 2 cards. Firemind Vessel taps for 2 different colors. Navigation Orb, our colorless Cultivate, also searches for gates. Mirror Convert, 2 mana for a 2/1 Phyrexian Mirror with Toxic 1. Tap it and pay 2 life to add a mana of any color. Charcoal Diamond taps for black. Fire Diamond taps for red. Prismatic Lens taps for a mana of any color, also for a colorless. Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, or Colorless Rampant Growth. Immolating Soul Eater, 2 mana, 1/1 artifact creature hound. Pay a Phyrexian red to give it +1/+0. Can be paid with red or 2 life. Again, you can pay as much life as you need to. Fell the Profane, 2 black for an instant, destroy a creature or planeswalker. Can also be a tapped or untapped black land, depending on if you want to pay 3 life. Bogart Trawler, 2 and a black for a 3/1 goblin. When it enters, exile target player's graveyard. Also a tapped or untapped black land if you want to pay 3 life. Exsanguinate, X black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Another great one when you're losing so much life, and also making this spell costs less to cast. Vendetta, 1 black instant, destroy a non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. You lose life equal to that creature's toughness. Ulcerate, 1 black instant, target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. You lose 3 life. Nocturnal Hunger, 2 and a black, gift of food, so you can give your opponent a food as you cast it. It destroy target creature. If the gift wasn't promised, you lose 2 life. A lot of times you want to lose the life. Infernal Grasp, 1 and a black instant, destroys a creature. You lose 2 life. Treasure Dredger, 1 and a black for 2/2 human rogue. Pay 1, tap it, and a life. Create a treasure token. Tavern Swindler, 1 and a black for 2/2 human rogue. Tap it and pay 3 life. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life. Bitter Triumph, 1 and a black instant, is additional cost to cast. Discard a card or pay 3 life. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Reckless Spite, 1 black instant, destroy 2 target non-black creatures. You lose 5 life. Feed the Swarm, 1 and a black sorcery, destroy a creature or an enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent mana value. Street Wraith, 3 black for a 3/4 Wraith with Swamp Walk. You can cycle it by paying it 2 life. Wall of Blood, 2 and a black for a 0/2 wall. Pay a life to give it +1/+1 until end of turn. Again, this is something you can do as long as you have a life to pay. Soul Drinker, 3 and a black for a 2/2 spirits. Pay 3 life to put a 1/1 counter on it. Unspeakable Symbol, 1 black for an enchantment. Pay 3 life to put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Diabolic Tutor, 2 black, searches your library for any card, then puts it into your hand. Dark Bargain, 3 and a black instant, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, the other into your graveyard. It deals 2 damage to you. Dark Tutelage, 2 and a black enchantment, on your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, put it into your hand, then lose life equal to that card's mana value. Greed, 3 and a black enchantments, pay a black and 2 life to draw a card. Agonizing Remorse, 1 and a black sorcery, the opponent reveals their hand, choose a non-land card from it or from their graveyard, exile that card, and you lose a life. Zoth Consumption, 4 black, each opponent loses 4 life and you gain 4 life. This one can also be a tapped black land. We have Treasonous Ogre, 3 and a red for a 2/3 Ogre Shaman with Dethroned. When it attacks a player with the most life or tied for the most life, put a 1/1 counter on it. You can also pay 3 life to add red to your mana pool. Fireball, X and a red, deals X damage divided evenly, rounded down by any number of target creatures or players. It costs 1 more for each target beyond the first. Urza's Rage, 2 and a red, instant with kicker, 8 and a red. Can't be countered. It deals 3 damage to any target. If it was kicked, it deals 10 damage to that permanent or player, and it can't be prevented. Flame Rift, 1 and a red, sorcery, deals 4 damage to each player, including yourself. Orcish Artillery, 1 red for a 1/3 orc. Tap it to deal 2 damage to any target, and it also deals 3 damage to you. Sundering Eruption, 2 and a red, sorcery, destroy land. Its controller can search for a basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. Can also be a tapped or untapped red land, depending if you want to pay 3 life. Pinnacle Monk, 3 red for 2/2 Jin Monk with prowess. Whenever it enters, return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. It can also be a tapped or untapped red land if you want to pay 3 life. And Blood-Soaked Insight, which is 5 black red hybrid. Costs 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Target opponent exiles the top 3 cards of their library until the end of your next turn. You can play those cards and spend mana of any color to cast those. It can also be a tapped black-red land. Into some lands, we have Sulphur Springs, Smoldering Marsh, Canyon Slough, Foreboding Ruins, Temple of Malice, Shadow Blood Ridge, Tainted Peak, Rakdos Guildgate, Bloodfell Caves, Tramway Station, Razor Trap Gorge, Spire of Industry, Command Tower, Cabal Pit, taps for black, deals the damage to you, pay black and sack it. If you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, a creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Barbarian Ring is the red version of this. You can sack it to deal 2 damage to a creature or player. Myriad Landscape can search for a couple lands, and then we have some swamps and mountains. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around for the Will Scion of Peace deck.